Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back. So in today's video we have a Microsoft Windows 11 update with at least two new features that I found, and they're both freaking lame. Oh my gosh. Oh, Microsoft, where's your head? Anyways, so when I go into my Armoury crate, I get a lot of information, including how much RAM my computer is, sucking up because of Windows 11, right? And in here it tells me 7.2 gigs out of 32 gigs of RAM is being used just to get to the OS, just to the desktop, okay? That's almost twice the RAM that Apple uses, like for their newest operating system on the M1s and M2s. That's ridiculous. But that's not what we're talking about mostly. They now have, when you go to the little start thing, and it says type here to search. One of my biggest complaints was as soon as I typed, it switches me over to this, to the search area. And it's like, hello? What? I just wanted to stay where I was, right? But no, they gotta screw with stuff. Now, that's fine and dandy. They do it. We got no control. Well, now what they did with today's Windows 11 updates is now you got this little search button down here, and it brings you to that same stupid lame window that you always got switched over to anyways. Just now you get to click on that. It's basically this. It's the same thing, right? So if you go here, you touch a button, it automatically kicks you in there and starts you off on search. Whereas if you go here, it's the same thing, right? So I'm kind of thinking, well, that's kind of lame. All right, so agreed. I think we can all agree it's lame. But some people will say, well, it is more direct now. No, not really. It's the same thing. Okay, the other thing they have is this desktop thing, okay? So you click on it, you create a new desktop, a new desktop, and a new desktop. So now you got 4 desktops. Okay, so let's go to desktop number 4. We'll fire up our camera. We'll go to desktop number 3. We'll fire up the Microsoft Store. Wait for that for a while. We'll put up the, oh, see now if we do this separate, it's gonna double layer it, right? So that's like running multiple apps. So what we want to do is we want to go into desktop number 2 and then put in the Armoury code. Okay, so we've got this. Now we're going to have to still go back down here and pick a desktop to go to. Okay? Either way, you're stuck doing the same thing. You're now taking the same amount of steps technically, okay? So let's do this. Let's get rid of these desktops. And actually while we're in here, let's add it back in. So let's put the camera up. Now you remember we're using just over 7 gigs of RAM, right? So now we're using 7.6, right? 7.5 gigs. So let's see if we actually get any RAM back here. So let's kill that off, and we're gonna have to kill these 2 off. Okay, so 7.2 gigs just being here. Okay, so that's the Armor Coat, camera, Microsoft Store. Okay, now if we go back to the Armoury crate, we're still using the same amount of RAM. Exactly the same amount of RAM, right? But if we minimize these, now they're down here and waiting. We know what's actually running down below. And we're using the same amount of RAM. But now we can just choose, oh, I want this. Piece of cake, right? No problem. Let's quit. Let's quit this. Okay, let's quit this. If you take the time to set up these desktops, okay, so we'll go to that desktop and we'll click on this one. Now we got another step to do. Let's click on this one, and we want this one here, but we want the camera app on this desktop. So this is our main desktop that's up right now. So now they're all up, but now to switch between them, we just simply do this. It's more work, it's more steps. Uses the same amount of RAM, but it's a heck of a lot more steps. So they're making life more complicated. They're not making it any easier. It's easier just to fire up all those apps and then just minimize them, because that's all that's really going on here is a type of minimization. But now you've got to go back to the desktop, re-click on the one you want, instead of just going down to the bottom going click, click, click. That's lame. That's really stupid. You know, and it's kind of like, oh man. I should have actually checked to see how much RAM my computer was using before these updates happened, because I'm pretty sure we're using up a little bit more RAM regardless, you know, just for these new features to be here, right? And I think that the features are, they're lame, they're stupid. I mean, it's really no different. The only difference in search is now you just click on search and you type. It's no different than clicking here, and as soon as you start typing, it's the same freaking thing. So all Microsoft is doing is adding more stuff in to suck up more RAM, more resources, and slow our systems down. That's all they're doing, right? So it's like, duh. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think this is absolutely ridiculous. It's a waste of RAM, it's a waste of resources, it's adding more confusion, because now you got to create all those desktops and then start launching items within. And you know, when you do go and you play a game, you're still not going to get back to another desktop and be able to flip between them, right? So let's actually try that to see if I'm right or not. Okay, just 2 desktops. I want my camera app. Okay, now I want to go back to this desktop, and I'm going to fire up Far Cry, and I'll bet you I can't get back to that desktop. And see, the game takes over the whole screen, right? Escaping does nothing, right? Alt, Windows, no. Control, no. So it's kind of useless if you have a game going in the background. Unless that game works in a sub window, you're screwed. If it's taking over the whole screen, yeah, you're not getting back to these other desktops. So kind of interesting. And there's our camera app. So we quit out of that, and we still have that desktop in the background too, right? So even leaving that desktop in the background, let's create a few more of these. Let's go back into the Armory Crate. .5 gigs. 7.6, 7.3. It's kind of fluctuating a little bit. But we don't have anything going in those other backgrounds. So again, we want to go here. We'll open up the Microsoft Store. Come on. We'll go here, Armory Crate. We'll go here, and we'll go to this one. Oh no, we got to go back first. Oh man, gotta go back to a blank window. And let's see. And of course, we're back to 7.5, 7.6 gigs of RAM. I don't know. It's definitely a lot of extra steps for nothing. It's absolutely ridiculous. And until you ditch those desktops, they do stay in the background. And you've got your master desktop, which of course you can't get rid of. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but I think this is absolutely stupid, ridiculous. Like I said, more resources, more RAM. Even if it's a minuscule amount of RAM, it's still more RAM being sucked away. And it's definitely sucking more resources away from your computer regardless, having this sort of thing. With the desktop thing, the search thing, it's absolutely stupid. It's like, man, I don't know what they're thinking. See ya.